Kai had never felt so alone in his life. The shuttle crash had thrown him onto a planet far from Earth. He could still hear the echo of alarms in his mind as the craft hit the rocky ground. Smoke rose in thin columns around him, and the metal of his shuttle was twisted into strange, jagged shapes. The sky was not blue as he remembered, but a deep shade of crimson, streaked with black clouds. The air was heavy, almost metallic, and every breath burned his lungs. He tried to move, but pain shot through his leg. He had a cut on his forehead, and his vision blurred. He crawled a few meters across the rocky terrain, but the effort left him exhausted. Kai knew he could not survive the night in this world. He scanned the area and saw strange shapes moving in the shadows. Creatures with long limbs and glowing eyes prowled the distance. They were curious, but dangerous. He had no weapon, no shelter, and no idea how to survive here. Kai sank to the ground, closing his eyes. He thought of Earth, of sunlight, and the warmth of his home. He wondered if anyone would even know he was missing. As darkness crept closer, he felt his body giving up. His thoughts became scattered, drifting in and out. Just when he feared he would lose consciousness, he felt a sudden warmth nearby. A soft light appeared in the distance, and a shadow approached him. At first, he thought it was one of the creatures. But then he saw her. She was tall and graceful, moving with a smooth elegance that seemed impossible. Her skin had a faint shimmer, and her eyes were green like emeralds. She looked at him with concern and curiosity. Kai could barely speak, but he whispered, "Who are you?" The alien did not answer with words. Instead, she extended her hand, and a soft energy seemed to flow from her. It lifted Kai gently from the ground, as if he weighed nothing. He felt a strange calm wash over him. He could feel her strength and her care in the way she held him. Her presence was powerful, yet kind. He did not know her name yet, but something inside him told him he could trust her. The alien carried him across the rugged terrain. The creatures that had been watching Kai backed away as if sensing her power. She moved with speed and grace, avoiding rocks and sudden drops with ease. Kai tried to stay awake, but his body was weak, and his head spun. The last thing he remembered before darkness took him was the soft sound of her voice, a sound that seemed to echo in his mind without words. When Kai opened his eyes again, he was in a place unlike anything he had ever seen. He lay on a bed of soft material that seemed to glow faintly. Around him, the walls were translucent, shimmering with light in colors he had never seen on Earth. Strange patterns moved across the surface, changing shapes like living paintings. Kai sat up slowly, trying to understand where he was. His heart raced with a mix of fear and wonder. The alien princess stood nearby. Her long hair shimmered under the light, and she smiled at him gently. "You are safe now," she said, her voice soft but firm. Kai's eyes widened as he realized he could understand her perfectly, though she had not spoken in any language he knew. He felt her words directly in his mind. It was strange and wonderful. "My name is Nira," she continued. "You were in great danger. I could not leave you there." Kai nodded, still trying to catch his breath. I do not know how to thank you," he said. His voice sounded small in the vast, glowing room. Nira shook her head. "You need not thank me. You must recover first. The world outside is harsh and dangerous. Here, you will be safe." Kai looked around the room again. Strange devices lined the walls, humming softly with energy. Small lights floated in the air like fireflies, and plants with translucent leaves swayed as if moved by an invisible breeze. He wondered if he had entered a dream. Everything felt unreal, yet the pain in his body and the pounding of his heart reminded him that this was real. He tried to stand, but Nira reached out and steadied him with a gentle hand. "You are weak," she observed. "Rest. You will need strength for what is to come." Her eyes studied him carefully, as if she could see every thought and fear inside his mind. Kai felt a mixture of awe and nervousness. He had never met anyone like her, not human and not alien. She was different, and he sensed that meeting her would change his life forever. Kai lay back down, watching Nira move across the room. She seemed almost weightless, gliding effortlessly. She picked up small objects and placed them in containers with precise movements. He realized she was preparing something for him, perhaps medicine or food. He wanted to speak, to ask questions, but his voice felt too weak. Nira smiled again, and he felt a comforting warmth that eased his fear. Hours passed, though Kai could not tell how long. He drifted in and out of sleep, and each time he woke, Nira was near. She never left him alone. He realized that she was not only protecting him from the world outside, but also watching over him as he healed. She seemed patient, yet her presence carried a quiet authority. Kai sensed that she was not used to seeing someone helpless and that her actions toward him were rare. When he finally felt strong enough to sit up fully, Nira approached him with a small device. She gestured for him to touch it, and as he did, he felt a gentle energy flow through his body. The pain in his leg lessened, and the cuts on his arms began to close. Kai gasped in amazement. How is this possible?" he asked. Nira smiled softly. "My people have long learned to protect and heal. You are fortunate." Kai looked at her closely for the first time. Nira's expression was calm, yet her eyes were sharp, as if she could read him completely. He realized that he had stumbled into something far larger than himself. He was no longer just a human on an unknown planet. He had been found by someone extraordinary, someone whose power and wisdom far exceeded anything he had known. Kai did not know what the future held. He did not know if he would survive the days or weeks to come. But as he looked at Nira, he felt a spark of hope. She had rescued him when no one else could. She had brought him to safety in a world that had been ready to destroy him. And somehow, he knew that this encounter was only the beginning of an adventure that would test him in ways he could not yet imagine. Kai closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the exhaustion leave him. He whispered to himself, "I will not fail her. I will survive." And in that moment, in the presence of the alien princess who had claimed him as her own, he felt the first stirrings of courage. He did not know the path ahead, but he knew that he was no longer alone. Kai woke to the soft glow of the room around him. The strange lights of Nira's palace seemed to shift with a gentle rhythm, as if the walls themselves were alive. He tried to remember the events that had brought him here, the crash, the creatures, and Nira's sudden appearance. Even now, it felt unreal. But the healing energy she had used on him confirmed that this world and this princess were very real. Nira stood nearby, watching him carefully. Her presence was calm and commanding. "You have rested well," she said. Kai nodded, still adjusting to the clarity of his mind and the strength returning to his body. "I thank you for saving me," he said, though the words felt small. Nira's eyes softened. "You need not thank me. You were in danger, and my people respect courage and life. You are under my protection now." Kai hesitated. "Your protection, does that mean I cannot leave?" Nira tilted her head slightly. "You may walk among my people when you are ready. but there is much you must learn before you go outside the palace. This world is not safe for humans who are unprepared. Her tone was firm, but not unkind. Kai understood that she meant to guide him, to teach him how to survive and thrive in her world. She led him through the palace, and Kai's eyes widened at what he saw. Towering structures made of translucent materials shimmered with light, and corridors twisted in ways that seemed impossible. Floating platforms moved through the air, carrying people gracefully from one level to another. The beings who walked the halls were unlike anything Kai had imagined. Some had sleek, metallic skin, while others had soft, glowing colors that changed as they moved. Their shapes were varied, but all seemed intelligent and aware. Kai felt out of place, and he knew it. He was a human among aliens who had lived on this planet their entire lives. Some of the beings glanced at him curiously, their eyes wide or glowing. Others whispered to each other in a language he could not understand. But Nero walked beside him confidently, and he realized that as long as she was near, he was safe. They entered a grand hall where a council of alien leaders gathered. The room was enormous, with high ceilings and walls that seemed to pulse with energy. The council members turned to look at Kai as he entered. Some stared openly, while others merely observed with quiet interest. Kai felt the weight of their attention. He had never been in a room where every eye seemed to measure him, judging him, and yet, he felt a strange sense of awe. "This is Kai," Nira announced, her voice clear and firm. "He is under my protection. He is a human, and he comes from a distant world." A murmur ran through the council. Some seemed impressed, while others exchanged skeptical glances. Kai tried to bow politely, but the gesture felt awkward in his body, which was still recovering from the crash. One of the council members, a tall figure with skin that shimmered like liquid silver, stepped forward. "Why is a human here?" the being asked, their voice like music to Kai's ears, though he did not understand the words fully. Nero looked at the council member without hesitation. "He was found in danger. I have claimed him for his protection. He is not here to cause harm, but he may have much to offer." Kai felt a mixture of pride and fear. He had never been claimed in this way, never had someone take responsibility for him in such a public and serious manner. He realized that being with Nero was both an honor and a challenge. He had to prove himself worthy of her trust, and perhaps even the respect of this entire court. After the council, Nero brought Kai to a private chamber. "You must understand the ways of this world," she said. "Our people value intelligence, bravery, and honor. You will need these qualities to survive and to earn the respect of others. There will be tests, and some may doubt you. But I believe in your potential." Kai listened carefully, absorbing her words. The weight of responsibility settled on his shoulders. He realized that survival alone was not enough. He would have to learn quickly, adapt to new customs, and show courage in ways he had never imagined. Nira's belief in him gave him hope, but it also reminded him that he could not fail. Over the next hours, Nira guided Kai through the palace gardens. The gardens were unlike any he had seen on Earth. Plants floated in midair, their leaves glowing softly. Some flowers emitted music instead of scent, and streams of liquid light ran through the air like waterfalls suspended in nothingness. Kai marveled at the beauty, but he remained aware of the dangers. Even in the palace, there were creatures that could attack if provoked. Nira showed Kai how to move safely in this world. She taught him how to avoid the dangerous plants, how to read the subtle signals of the alien creatures, and how to use the palace technology to aid his movement. Kai found himself learning quickly. His human instincts helped him notice patterns and risks that even some of the aliens overlooked. Nira observed silently, nodding occasionally. As the sun of the alien world began to set, painting the sky in shades of violet and silver, Kai felt both exhaustion and exhilaration. He had survived the crash, met a princess, and seen a world far beyond his imagination. But he knew that he had only just begun. Nira's world was full of mystery, challenges, and expectations. Every step he took would matter, and every decision could change the way the court viewed him. Kai looked at Nira as they reached the balcony of her chamber. The city stretched out before them, glowing softly under the twilight sky. Strange vehicles moved like schools of fish, and distant towers seemed to touch the clouds. Kai felt a deep respect for this world and for the princess who ruled it with wisdom and strength. He also felt a determination he had never known. He would learn, adapt, and prove that a human could belong here. Nira's voice brought him back from his thoughts. "Rest now," she said gently. "Tomorrow, your lessons will begin. There is much to prepare you for, and the world outside will not wait for you to grow strong." Kai nodded, understanding her words fully. He knew that rest was necessary, but he also knew that every moment in this world would challenge him. As he lay down, Kai reflected on the day. He had been rescued, brought to safety, and introduced to a civilization that seemed beyond comprehension. He felt awe, fear, and curiosity all at once. But above all, he felt hope. Hope that he could survive, hope that he could learn, and hope that he could honor the trust Nira had placed in him. He closed his eyes, the glow of the palace fading softly in his mind. He whispered quietly, "I will not fail her. I will learn, and I will survive." And in that moment, Kai felt the first stirrings of courage and determination. He knew that tomorrow would bring challenges he could not yet imagine. But with Nira by his side, he felt ready to face them. Kai had spent a day exploring the palace with Nira. He had seen the gardens, the glowing halls, and the strange creatures that roamed freely. But as he awoke the next morning, he realized that the real challenge was about to begin. Nira had promised lessons, and he could feel that they would test more than his strength. They would test his mind, his courage, and his ability to adapt. The princess met him in the main hall, her green eyes bright and focused. "Today, you will see the city outside the palace," she said. "You will also meet other beings of my world. Some will welcome you, some will doubt you. You must learn quickly how to behave and how to protect yourself." Kai nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had survived the crash and been saved by Nira, but the thought of venturing beyond the palace walls made his heart race. As they walked through the city gates, Kai was struck by its size and complexity. Towering spires of crystal rose into the sky, connected by floating bridges and platforms. Streets glowed with soft light, and vehicles floated silently through the air. Aliens of every shape and color passed by, some with wings, some with multiple arms, some with shimmering, translucent skin. Each moved with purpose, yet many turned to watch the human who walked beside the princess. Kai felt their eyes on him. Some were curious, others skeptical. He realized that he was a rare sight here, a human in a city that had never known one. Whispers followed them as they passed. Kai tried to stand tall, remembering Nira's words about courage and presence. The princess walked beside him confidently, her aura commanding respect without a word. Their first stop was a training courtyard. Nira gestured to several devices and tools Kai had never seen before. "You must learn to understand our defenses and how to protect yourself," she said. "These tools will help you control energy, move safely, and defend against creatures that may threaten the city. Kai examined them carefully, trying to understand their functions. Some seemed simple, others complex beyond his comprehension. As Nero watched, Kai attempted to use a small energy shield. He focused, thinking about the way Nero had held him when he was unconscious. Slowly, a thin barrier formed, glowing faintly around him. He smiled in surprise. Nero nodded approvingly. Good. You are learning quickly. But your mind must be as strong as your body. You will face challenges that require both. Suddenly, a loud alarm sounded. The courtyard's lights flashed red, and the ground trembled slightly. Nero's expression grew serious. Stay close, she ordered. Kai followed her as she moved swiftly toward the source of the alarm. Around the corner, they saw a small creature had escaped from a holding area. It was strange and dangerous, with long limbs, sharp claws, and glowing eyes. It hissed as it advanced toward a group of younger aliens nearby. Kai's instincts kicked in. He remembered how he had survived the crash and how Nero had saved him. He focused on the energy shield again and pushed it toward the creature. The shield flashed brightly, slowing the creature's approach. Nero stepped forward, guiding him with precise gestures. Together, they managed to corner the creature without harming it. Nero captured it safely, calming its agitation. The onlookers cheered softly, and some whispered among themselves. Kai realized that his actions had not only protected the young aliens but also earned him a small measure of respect. He had proven that, even as a human, he could contribute to this world. Nero's presence had guided him, but he had acted, and that mattered. After the incident, they continued through the city. Kai noticed that not all eyes followed them with admiration. Some beings exchanged looks of doubt or suspicion. He overheard fragments of conversation, words he did not fully understand, but the tone was clear. Why is a human here? Can he truly be trusted? Kai felt a pang of unease. He realized that being claimed by Nero did not mean everyone would accept him. He would have to earn trust, prove his courage, and show that he belonged. Nero sensed his concern. She took his hand briefly, offering reassurance. Do not worry about them now, she said. You must focus on learning, on observing, and on understanding. Their doubts will fade when they see your actions. You are stronger than you believe. Kai drew strength from her words. He had survived a crash, a hostile world, and now he would face scrutiny and challenge. He realized that he had already grown, even if he did not yet feel it fully. As they reached the central plaza, Kai saw a vast arena. It was not a place of cruelty, but of skill and honor. Aliens trained there, practicing combat, agility, and energy control. Nero gestured for him to watch closely. This is where courage and intelligence are tested, she explained. You will learn by observation first, then by practice. You must understand both your own limits and the abilities of others. Kai observed carefully. He noticed patterns in movement, timing, and strategy. He realized that the aliens valued precision, awareness, and quick thinking. He could see ways in which his human intuition and creativity could complement these skills. He felt a spark of determination. He would not be an outsider forever. He would learn and grow, and he would show them what a human could do. Suddenly, a commotion arose at the far end of the arena. A group of aliens were arguing loudly, gesturing toward Kai and Nero. He could sense the tension. Some seemed openly hostile, questioning why Nero had brought a human into the city. Kai felt his pulse quicken, but he reminded himself of Nira's words. Courage was not the absence of fear, it was acting despite fear. He straightened, ready to face whatever came next. Nira stepped forward, her voice calm but commanding. "He is under my protection," she announced. "Your doubts are your own. Watch his actions before passing judgment." The murmurs quieted, though some eyes still glimmered with skepticism. Kai felt a mix of pride and nervousness. He had never experienced anything like this before, and he realized that his human courage and Nira's guidance would both be needed in the days ahead. As the sun of the alien world set again, painting the sky in brilliant shades of violet and silver, Kai reflected on the events of the day. He had faced danger, protected others, and learned that trust must be earned. He understood that the world outside the palace, though beautiful, was filled with both wonder and peril. He felt the first real weight of responsibility in this strange new life. Kai looked at Nira as they walked back to the palace. Her presence remained steady, a source of strength and reassurance. He realized that he was not alone in this world. He had a guide, a protector, and an ally who believed in him. And as he drifted to sleep that night, he whispered quietly to himself, "I will not fail her. I will learn, and I will prove that a human can belong here." For the first time, Kai felt that he was more than a survivor. He was a participant in a world full of challenges, growth, and adventure. And he knew that the days ahead would test him in ways he could not yet imagine, shaping him into someone worthy of the trust and care Nira had given him. The morning sun of Nira's world rose slowly, casting a soft violet glow over the city. Kai felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today was different. Nira had said that he would face a test unlike any before, but she had not revealed the details. As he stood in the palace courtyard, he watched the city awaken, the air filled with the soft hum of energy and the distant movement of floating vehicles. Nira approached him with her usual calm presence. "Kai," she said, "today you will understand the meaning of my claim. This is more than protection. It is a bond, and it carries responsibility. You must listen carefully and act wisely." Kai nodded, trying to steady his racing heart. He had followed her guidance for days, learning about the city, the people, and the dangers that lurked even within the palace walls. He had survived challenges and proven courage. But he could not predict what this new step would demand. She led him to the high tower, the tallest structure in the city. Its crystalline walls reflected the morning light in brilliant colors. Kai felt a sense of awe as they ascended the spiral platforms, floating gently toward the top. From the balcony, the city stretched below them like a living map, glowing softly. Kai could see distant streets, the training arenas, and the gardens that had fascinated him before. The world felt immense, and he realized how small and fragile a single human seemed here. Nira turned to face him, her expression serious. "Kai, you have survived many challenges, but this is a different matter. By claiming you, I am declaring that you belong to my protection and guidance. This claim is both symbolic and powerful. It ensures your safety, but it also places responsibility on your shoulders. You must understand that your actions now reflect not only on yourself but also on my people." Kai swallowed hard. He had never been claimed before. On Earth, he had friends, colleagues, and family, but no one had ever held such authority over his life. He looked into Nira's eyes and saw both strength and trust. He realized that this claim was not meant to control him, but to create a bond that would help him survive and grow. "I understand," he said quietly, feeling the weight of her words. "I will do my best." Nira extended her hand. A soft energy shimmered around it, touching Kai's chest. He felt a warmth spread through him, stronger than anything he had experienced. It was not painful, but it carried a deep sense of connection. Kai realized that this bond would link him to Nira, to her protection, and to the trust she placed in him. At that moment, he understood the gravity of the claim. It was an honor, a challenge, and a responsibility all at once. The city below seemed to respond to the bond. Lights brightened, colors shifted, and for a brief moment, Kai felt as if the entire world recognized the connection between him and Nira. Some onlookers paused in the streets, sensing the significance of the moment. Kai could feel the eyes of the council and citizens upon him, yet he did not falter. He had learned courage, and he knew that he must act with composure. Nira guided him back inside the tower. "There will be trials ahead," she said. "Some will question you, some will doubt you, and some may even try to harm you. But this bond ensures that you are never alone. You will need your wits, your courage, and your loyalty to navigate what is coming. Do you understand?" Kai nodded. He felt a surge of determination. He had faced danger, learned quickly, and survived challenges before. Now, the claim was a formal recognition of his place in this world. He realized that he was no longer just a visitor. He belonged here, and he would prove that he could honor the trust Nira had placed in him. Later that day, Nira brought Kai to the council chamber. The beings of the court waited, their expressions varied: curiosity, skepticism, and cautious respect. Nira addressed them clearly. "This human, Kai, is under my claim. He is part of our world now. He will learn, contribute, and serve as a protector alongside us. His presence is not a threat, but an opportunity. I ask that you observe his actions and judge him fairly." A murmur ran through the council. Some whispered in approval, while others exchanged doubtful glances. Kai felt the tension in the room. These were powerful beings, leaders of the city, and their judgment mattered. He straightened his posture, reminding himself of Nira's words. Courage was acting despite fear, and now was the time to show it. The council began asking questions. They tested Kai's reasoning, his understanding of basic energy control, and his knowledge of survival tactics. Kai answered carefully, relying on what he had learned from Nira. He realized that human creativity and intuition gave him an edge, allowing him to solve problems in ways the aliens had not considered. Some council members nodded in approval, while others remained skeptical. One council member, a being with smooth, flowing skin that reflected light like water, stepped forward. "Why should we trust a human?" they asked. Kai met their gaze steadily. "Because I have survived challenges, and I am willing to learn. I may be human, but I am determined to protect this world and honor the trust given to me." His words were simple, yet filled with conviction. The room fell silent for a moment, then several council members nodded, acknowledging his courage. Nira's eyes met his, and she gave a small smile. Kai felt a sense of pride and relief. He had not only survived the claim but had also begun to earn the respect of those who had doubted him. The weight of the responsibility was still heavy, but he knew he could carry it. After the council, Nero led him to the palace gardens. The floating plants shimmered in the afternoon light, and streams of liquid energy ran gently through the air. She looked at him seriously. "Kai, being claimed is not only about protection. It is about growth, courage, and trust. You will face more challenges, and the bond between us will be tested. But I believe in your potential. Do not forget that your actions reflect on both yourself and on me." Kai nodded, feeling the truth of her words. He realized that this claim was not a gift to take lightly. It was a challenge, a responsibility, and an honor all at once. He felt a determination he had never known. He would not fail Nira. He would learn, adapt, and prove that a human could thrive in a world so different from his own. As the sun set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of violet and gold, Kai looked out over the city. He felt a strange mix of awe, fear, and excitement. He had been claimed, formally recognized by a princess and her people. The journey ahead would test him, challenge him, and perhaps change him forever. But for the first time since the crash, he felt certain of one thing: he was not alone, and he had a purpose. Kai whispered quietly to himself, "I will honor this bond. I will prove myself worthy." And in the fading light of the alien city, he felt the first true certainty of his place in this world, ready to face the trials that awaited him. The morning light spilled across the palace gardens, painting the floating plants in shades of soft green and gold. Kai stood beside Nira, feeling the weight of responsibility that had settled on his shoulders since the claim. Today was the day she had said he would face his first true trial. He was no longer just a human learning about a new world. He was someone who had to act, make decisions, and prove his courage. Nero led him to a training platform outside the palace. The platform hovered above a deep chasm, its edges shimmering with energy. Kai felt a nervous flutter in his chest. The test was not just about skill, it was about facing fear. Nira turned to him and said, "Today, you will face challenges that test your mind, your courage, and your instincts. Remember what you have learned, and trust yourself." Kai nodded, taking a deep breath. He had survived a crash, faced dangerous creatures, and earned the cautious respect of the council. He could do this. The first challenge was a series of moving obstacles designed to test agility and quick thinking. Platforms rose and fell, energy barriers flashed, and strange devices emitted pulses that Kai had to avoid. At first, he struggled. His timing was off, and he nearly fell several times. Nira called out guidance, showing him subtle cues he had not noticed. Slowly, Kai adjusted, learning to read the patterns and anticipate the movements. His human instincts, honed by years of problem-solving and quick thinking, began to give him an advantage. He leaped, ducked, and balanced with increasing confidence. By the end of the obstacle course, he felt a surge of pride. He had succeeded, not because he was naturally gifted in this world, but because he had observed, adapted, and persisted. Nira smiled. "You are learning. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite fear." Kai nodded, understanding the truth in her words. The next trial was more demanding. He would face simulated creatures that tested his reflexes and decision-making. Strange holographic predators emerged from the platform's edges, their claws and teeth designed to intimidate. Kai felt his heart race. The creatures moved unpredictably, forcing Kai to rely on both instinct and careful observation. He raised an energy shield, deflecting the first attack. Then he used a device Nira had given him to create temporary barriers, directing the creatures into harmless zones. With each successful move, his confidence grew. He realized that his human ingenuity, combined with the skills Nira had taught him, allowed him to overcome obstacles that might have been impossible for others. As the last simulated creature vanished, Nira approached him. "Well done," she said. "You are learning to adapt. But now you must face a challenge that is not controlled, that is real. The creatures of this world are not always predictable. You will leave the platform and enter the lower sectors, where danger exists naturally. You must protect yourself and others if needed." Kai's chest tightened with both fear and determination. The lower sectors were known to harbor dangerous wildlife, unstable terrain, and rogue beings. He had never faced this level of danger before. But he remembered Nira's trust in him and the bond that now connected them. He would not fail her. They descended into the lower sectors, and Kai immediately noticed the difference. The air was heavier here, filled with the hum of energy and the distant sounds of creatures moving. Shadows shifted unpredictably, and strange plants leaned as if sensing their presence. Nira guided him through, pointing out signs of danger and teaching him how to read subtle cues in the environment. Suddenly, a creature leaped from the shadows. It was larger than any Kai had seen before, with sharp claws and glowing eyes. It moved quickly, and Kai felt his heart race. Nira stepped beside him, but she allowed him to take the lead. Kai focused, recalling the lessons from the training platform. He raised his shield, anticipating the creature's movement. The first attack grazed him, leaving a small burn, but Kai remained steady. He used a combination of energy pulses and quick reflexes to create space between himself and the creature. Then he observed its behavior, noticing that it reacted predictably to certain gestures and sounds. Using this knowledge, Kai guided the creature away from Nira and the city, leading it toward a natural trap where it could be captured safely. When the creature was contained, Nira approached him, her expression a mixture of pride and approval. "You have done well," she said. "You faced fear, adapted quickly, and protected others. This is the mark of true courage. Remember, strength alone is not enough. Intelligence, observation, and calm judgment are equally important." Kai exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. He had faced a real threat, not a simulation, and had succeeded. He realized that his human instincts, problem-solving, quick thinking, and persistence were valuable even in this alien world. He had begun to earn not just Nira's trust but also a measure of his own confidence. The trials continued throughout the day. Kai encountered treacherous terrain, navigated narrow energy bridges, and solved challenges that tested his intellect. Each success strengthened his bond with Nira and reinforced the lessons she had taught him. He was no longer the uncertain human who had been rescued from a crash. He was becoming someone capable, resilient, and respected in this world. As the day ended, Kai and Nira returned to the palace. The floating plants glowed softly in the evening light, and streams of energy ran gently through the air. Kai felt exhaustion, but it was a satisfying exhaustion. He had faced challenges, survived danger, and proven that he could adapt and act under pressure. Nira turned to him, her eyes bright with pride. "Today, you have learned much," she said. "You have faced fear, acted with courage, and protected others. Remember these lessons. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, and the world outside will not wait for you to grow stronger. But I believe in you, Kai. You are becoming someone worthy of this world and of the bond we share." Kai nodded, feeling the truth of her words. He realized that being claimed by Nira was not just about protection, it was about growth, responsibility, and courage. He had begun to understand the depth of the trust she had placed in him. He was no longer just surviving. He was learning, acting, and proving himself capable in ways he had never imagined. As he lay down that night, Kai reflected on the events of the day. He had faced fear, survived danger, and earned a measure of respect in a world far beyond his own. He felt a mixture of awe, excitement, and determination. The trials were not over, and challenges awaited him each day. But for the first time, he felt certain of one thing: he could face them, and he could honor the bond that Nira had created. He whispered quietly to himself, "I will grow stronger. I will prove myself. I will not fail." And in the glow of the alien city, Kai felt the first true certainty of his courage and potential. He was no longer just a human on a strange planet. He was becoming someone capable, someone respected, and someone ready to face whatever the world and the princess had in store for him. Kai had grown more confident in his abilities since Nira had claimed him. He had faced danger, learned the ways of the city, and earned a measure of respect from the court. But nothing could have prepared him for the events that were about to unfold. One evening, as the sky turned shades of violet and gold, Nira called him to a private chamber. Her expression was serious, her green eyes sharp. "Kai," she said quietly, "there is a threat within the city. I have sensed a plan to destabilize our people. Some within the council seek to remove you and undermine my authority. You must be cautious and alert." Kai's heart raced. He had faced creatures and tests of skill, but this was different. This was danger born of cunning, not claws. It required strategy, awareness, and courage of a new kind. Nira explained that certain council members had grown suspicious of Kai's presence. Some whispered that a human could never be trusted in their city, that his actions might one day endanger them all. These whispers had now turned into a plan. Kai would have to act carefully, relying on both his instincts and the lessons Nira had taught him. Together, they moved through the city under the cover of twilight. The streets glowed softly with energy, but shadows were long and dark. Kai noticed subtle signs of the conspiracy, unfamiliar figures following them, coded signals passing between watchers, and devices placed in unusual locations. He felt a mixture of fear and determination. This was not a test of strength. It was a test of perception, intelligence, and courage. Suddenly, an ambush was sprung. Hidden attackers revealed themselves from the shadows, wielding energy devices meant to trap or harm him. Kai reacted quickly, raising his shield and using the movements he had learned in his trials. The attackers were skilled, but they had underestimated his adaptability. Using a combination of human intuition and Nira's guidance, he dodged, blocked, and created space to assess the situation. Nira moved beside him, calm and precise. Together, they neutralized the attackers without causing lasting harm. The confrontation was swift but tense. Kai realized that the conspiracy was more dangerous than he had imagined. It was not simply a test of skill, it was a plan designed to destabilize the city and harm those he had come to care about. After the ambush, Nero led Kai to a secure location beneath the palace. It was a room filled with information devices, maps, and holographic projections of the city. Here, Kai saw the scope of the conspiracy. Several council members were coordinating in secret, planning to manipulate events to remove him from Nira's protection. The plan involved spreading false rumors, creating dangerous distractions, and even attempting to incite creatures from the lower sectors against the city. Kai's mind raced. He realized that surviving these challenges would require more than courage and skill. He would need strategy, observation, and clever planning. Nero looked at him. "You are not only part of this world now, Kai," she said, "but you are also a key protector. Your actions can prevent disaster. Trust your instincts, but also think carefully. You are stronger than you know." Over the next hours, Kai and Nira studied the movements of the conspirators. They mapped their likely actions and prepared responses. Kai suggested using the knowledge he had gained from his trials, patterns in movement, energy manipulation, and human intuition about problem solving to predict where the attackers would strike next. Nero listened carefully and incorporated his ideas into the plan. When the first real confrontation occurred, it was in the lower sectors of the city. The conspirators had released a dangerous creature into a populated area, hoping to create chaos. Kai and Nira acted immediately. Using energy barriers, careful observation, and quick thinking, they redirected the creature into a safe containment area. Citizens who had watched in fear now stared in awe. Kai realized that his presence and courage had made a real difference. The conspirators were frustrated but persistent. They tried again, using coded devices to disrupt the city's energy systems. Kai anticipated their moves, using his knowledge of the city's layout and the lessons Nira had taught him. He guided citizens to safety, neutralized threats, and prevented panic. Each success strengthened his confidence and deepened the bond between him and Nira. By the end of the night, Kai and Nira had uncovered the full scope of the conspiracy. Several council members had plotted against Nira and against him, seeking power for themselves. But Kai's quick thinking and bravery had prevented disaster. Nira looked at him with pride. "You have done more than survive," she said. "You have protected our people, upheld our values, and proven that courage and intelligence are more powerful than suspicion and fear." Kai felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He had not only faced danger but had acted decisively to protect others. He realized that being human did not make him weak in this world. His creativity, courage, and ability to think differently gave him an advantage that even the most experienced beings had not anticipated. As dawn approached, painting the sky with soft violet light, Kai and Nira returned to the palace. The city was safe, but he knew that vigilance would always be necessary. Conspiracies could arise again, and challenges would never truly end. But he felt ready. He had grown through trials, danger, and strategy. He had proven that a human could survive, adapt, and protect a world far beyond his own. Nira stood beside him on the palace balcony, looking out over the city. "Kai," she said softly, "today you have shown that courage is not just about facing creatures or obstacles. It is also about facing cunning, deception, and fear. You have learned that even in the darkest moments, intelligence, observation, and determination can overcome danger. You have done well." Kai nodded, feeling the truth in her words. He looked at the city, the glowing streets, the floating platforms, and the creatures that had once seemed alien and threatening. He realized that he was part of this world now, that his actions mattered, and that his presence had a real impact. For the first time, he felt fully capable of taking on whatever challenges came next. As Kai prepared to rest, he reflected on the lessons of the day. Courage was not only physical, it was mental and emotional. Trust was earned through action, not given lightly. And humans, even in an alien world, could rise to challenges through creativity, observation, and determination. Kai whispered to himself, "I will protect this world. I will honor Nira's trust. I will grow stronger and face whatever comes." In that quiet moment, beneath the soft glow of the alien sky, Kai felt a sense of belonging. He had faced danger, uncovered a conspiracy, and acted decisively to protect those he cared about. He was no longer just a visitor or a survivor. He was a participant, a protector, and someone whose courage and intelligence could make a difference. The city was quiet under the soft glow of the alien dawn. Kai had spent the night reviewing the events of the previous day. The conspiracy had been stopped, the attackers contained, and the city restored to safety. Yet he knew the danger had not vanished entirely. There were always those who would seek power, those who would challenge the order, and those who doubted the value of a human in their world. Nira found him on the balcony, her green eyes filled with concern and pride. "Kai," she said softly, Today will test you like never before. The conspirators may have been caught, but their influence runs deep. There are forces that still oppose us, and your courage will be needed. Are you ready? Kai nodded, feeling a mixture of determination and nervous energy. He had faced creatures, trials, and conspiracies, but now the stakes were higher. This was not just about his survival or learning. This was about protecting Nira, the city, and the bond they shared. He took a deep breath, feeling the energy of the city around him. He was no longer just a human visitor. He was a protector. The first challenge came quickly. A section of the city's energy grid had been sabotaged, and unstable devices threatened to collapse floating bridges and platforms. Citizens began to panic, and Kai realized that immediate action was required. Using his knowledge of the city's layout and the devices he had trained with, he moved swiftly to stabilize the energy flows. His hands worked precisely, directing energy with careful control. Each adjustment required focus and speed, and one wrong move could cause disaster. Nira followed close behind, providing guidance and shielding Kai from energy pulses that might have injured him. Together, they worked as a team, human ingenuity and alien power combining seamlessly. The citizens watched in awe as Kai acted decisively, solving problems that seemed insurmountable. He realized that courage was not only about facing physical danger, it was also about making smart decisions under pressure. Just as he stabilized the grid, a warning signal sounded. Multiple conspirators had moved to attack the city directly, attempting to use the chaos to their advantage. Kai did not hesitate. He activated the energy shield he had mastered in training and sprinted toward the threat. His movements were precise, anticipating attacks, guiding citizens to safety, and neutralizing devices set to harm the city. The battle was intense but measured. Kai used strategy as much as strength, observing the conspirators' actions and predicting their next moves. He anticipated their attempts to corner him or distract Nira and countered with calm precision. For the first time, he realized that his human mind, creativity, and quick thinking were just as valuable as Nira's power. Together, they were unstoppable. Nira turned to him, her voice steady in the chaos. Kai, focus on the leader. He is the source of this plan. Stop him, and the others will fall into disorder. Kai nodded. He had noticed a figure orchestrating the attack, directing movements, and issuing commands. With careful observation, he identified patterns in the leader's actions and predicted the route he would take. Kai moved swiftly, intercepting the conspirator before he could escape. Using a combination of energy control and precise maneuvers, he incapacitated the leader without causing lasting harm. The remaining conspirators faltered, their plan collapsing under Kai's decisive action. Citizens cheered softly from the safety of nearby platforms, and even skeptical council members watched with quiet respect. When the battle ended, Kai and Nira stood together in the central plaza. The city was safe, and the threat had been neutralized. Kai felt a surge of relief and pride. He had faced danger, strategy, and deception, and had emerged victorious. But more than that, he had proven that a human could make a difference in a world far beyond Earth. Nira's hand rested on his shoulder, her green eyes filled with admiration. Kai, today you have shown true courage and wisdom. You have acted with strength, intelligence, and honor. You have earned your place in the city, in this world, and in my life. Your human spirit has proven invaluable. Kai looked at her, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. The bond between them had grown stronger through trials, danger, and teamwork. He had faced challenges that would have overwhelmed many, yet he had adapted, learned, and acted decisively. He realized that his humanity, creativity, courage, and determination was what allowed him to succeed where others might have failed. The council convened after the events, and Kai was formally recognized as a protector of the city. Even those who had doubted him acknowledged his courage and intelligence. Nira's trust had been rewarded, and the city had a new hero. Kai felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had started as a human lost on a distant planet, rescued by a princess. Now he was a protector, a hero, and someone whose actions had real impact. As evening approached, Kai and Nira walked through the glowing gardens. The floating plants swayed gently, and streams of energy reflected the soft colors of the sky. Citizens moved through the gardens, peaceful and safe. Kai felt a sense of belonging he had never known on Earth. He realized that he was part of this world, not just as a visitor, but as someone who mattered. Nero looked at him with a smile. Kai, the trials are never truly over. But you have grown, learned, and proven yourself. You are a human, yet you have shown that courage, intelligence, and determination can overcome any obstacle. I am proud to have claimed you, and I am proud of who you are becoming. Kai felt warmth in his chest. He had faced fear, danger, and doubt, and had emerged stronger. He understood now that being human did not limit him. His mind, heart, and courage were his greatest strengths. He whispered softly, I will continue to grow. I will protect this world. I will honor your trust, Nira. The princess nodded, and together they looked out over the city. The lights glowed softly, the floating platforms moved gracefully, and the citizens were safe. Kai felt a deep sense of peace and purpose. He had been rescued, trained, tested, and challenged. He had faced danger both physical and strategic, and he had proven that a human could belong, could protect, and could inspire. As night fell and the sky turned shades of deep violet and silver, Kai knew that his journey was only beginning. There would be more challenges, more threats, and more opportunities to prove himself. But he was no longer afraid. He had courage, intelligence, and the trust of a powerful ally. He had earned his place in this world. Kai looked at Nero one last time before resting. I am ready for whatever comes next, he said. The city beneath them pulsed with life and energy, a world full of wonder, challenge, and possibility. And in that moment, Kai felt certain that humans, even in the farthest reaches of the galaxy, could rise to greatness. He had started as a human lost and unconscious on a strange planet. Now he was a hero, a protector, and a symbol of courage. He had proven that humanity, with determination and ingenuity, could overcome even the greatest challenges in an alien world. And as the stars glittered above the alien city, Kai knew he had found his place, his purpose, and a bond that would shape the rest of his life. He was no longer just a human among aliens. He was a hero, and the world knew it.